brilliant. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. And this is a review of Time, Jimmy McGovern's 3-part miniseries from this year. I think it was filmed this year as well. It's not one of the things that were like held back from 2020 because of the pandemic. It's very, very good. It's very good. Short review. Very good. Strong recommend. Very strong recommend. Great performances, great writing, great characters. Just fantastic. Fantastic in every way. I will elucidate a little bit why I think it's so good. If you can hang out for that, that'll be great. Hit the like button. That'll be fantastic. Thank you very much. Hit the share button. Even more fantastic than the like button, incredibly. And hit that subscribe button. I am in a pitch battle with YouTube. And funnily enough, they're winning. You know, okay, granted, they are a massive multinational corporation. And I'm me, and this is my entire resources. You see behind me my entire everything I can bring to bear in this fight. So they're winning. Every time people subscribe, they unsubscribe people. It's like one in, one out. It's been going on for quite some time now. So if I can endure you to hit the subscribe button, that'll be fantastic. Thank you very much. Look, you might say it's pointless. They're going to unsubscribe me, but yeah, every day go out and subscribe again. That'll be great. And if you're not subscribed, if you can consider hitting, if you are subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not subscribed, if you can consider hitting that button, that really, really helps me. The other thing that helps me is commenting. The algorithm do enjoy eating up your comments. Go, nim, 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 nim. I like those comments, they say. And you want to be super, super, super duper nice, go check out my Indiegogo. And Indiegogo is a crowd funding platform where people do all kinds of things on it. I do graphic novels. Graphic novels are a fancy word for comic books. These are two, I would say, awesome comic books. They're aimed at grown-ups. These are not Kiddie Winkle. This is not Kiddie Winkle fare. We have biblical Bible stories, atheist creationists, rationalists, and rogues. Very, very biblically accurate. I would say not preachy. My look about it, my thought of it is not preachy. I wrote and drew it, so I guess my opinion counts for something. Although, yeah, people never know what you have to evaluate their own work. But anyway, I don't think it's preachy. It's just I think it's a very good story. As I said, very, very biblically accurate. So you're going to recognize bits and pieces from it. There's like the Tower of Babel, the Flood, the Raven. Raven's totally my favorite character. Book of Jonah, and it all kind of ties together in one what I think seamless narrative. This is 220 pages long, 180 page story. Freaking awesome package. Recommend it highly. But I would do that because as I said, I wrote it. And also we have the very different, the Imperium, a love letter to telefancy of the 1960s. This was 100 pages long. Now it's going to be 105. We just added 5 new story pages in. Just got the artwork in for 3 of them. Freaking gorgeous. I wrote this one. Dominic Rancho did the artwork. Essentially imagine James Bond, Doctor Who, Emma Pill, the Black Slab from 2001, and a monkey in a spacesuit. Throw in a bit of Thunderbirds, throw in a bit of Prisoner. You kind of got the book. And then if you buy both, there's a whole ton of extras. Just go check it out. It's in the, actually, I've got to update the campaign. I haven't updated it for ages. Fine, thank you very much. Let's talk about Time. Time is by Jimmy McGovern. Jimmy McGovern is one of those very good writers that's known to have a social conscience, which I think every writer really does. But but he's also extremely talented. I think that's quite kind of important thing to point out. He's an extremely talented writer, and he's able to bring his worldview, which again is like most people in making entertainment, is somewhat left-wing, somewhat liberal. But he's able to bring that worldview without preaching to you, and he tells you a compelling story with compelling characters. He first got famous with the TV show Cracker, starring Robbie Coltrane, and you will see like just the brilliant writing in there. Cracker is a psychologist who was brought in to interview criminals and basically get them to find out where the body was or whatever it is. It was mainly incredible interplay between Robbie Coltrane as this brilliant psychologist and whoever the criminal of the week is, right? Well, they did like, it was like movie episode, length episodes, and also you had his very, very fractured and broken private life, as it was like you know, a gambler, and how it's destroyed his life, and how he talks about gambling, how much he loves. Just makes a very real three-dimensional character. So he's done that here again, looking at the prison system. And it's brilliant. You know what's brilliant about this? There are no villains in it, which is kind of amazing because it's set in prison. The whole thing is set in prison. The basic plot is Sean Bean playing very different. Sean Bean normally plays big tough guys, you know, Ned Stark or you know, 009. You know, that's essentially who normally plays. He plays a 50-year-old English teacher, very mild-mannered, soft person who's an alcoholic, right? Again, Jimmy McGovern is fantastic at creating layered characters who you can believe in, and his portrayal, I think, is probably some of the best thing he's done in his career. So the basic idea, the basic plot is he's an alcoholic, and he runs somebody over, and he has to go to prison for manslaughter for 4 years. But that's just the bare bones of it, right? The rough outline. What unfolds over the 3 episodes is a really fascinating character study of this person, of like his genuine remorse and guilt for what happened. And you know what's really great about this? It's you really get to unpeel the onion of how violent crime, how terrible things are violent, how murder, you know, actually happens. And the answer is there's no villains in the end. There's really no villains. There's a great scene in episode 2 where the parents of somebody who was killed by one of the inmates in prison wants to meet him and talk to him. Right? And so eventually that meeting does happen. And they just want to know how their son got killed. You can feel their grief. It's just incredible. And yeah, the story that is told is, firstly, incredible performance. Just incredible performance. Telling us, who is that? Jonathan Hayden, maybe? Can't remember. Yeah, it's an incredible performance. As he says, listen, basically his story was he only had like £1.20 on him on Saturday night, and he was really ashamed about that. And he spilt somebody's drink, or he got into a fight with somebody's drink, and he should have just bought him a new one, but he knew he couldn't do it, and he was just so ashamed of it, right? And that drove him one thing to another, until eventually he's serving the rest of his life in prison, and it's very, very believable and very tragic, The other thing that really comes up is how most people in the prisons should, well, like half of them have severe mental disorders, which landed them there. Sean Bean's first first acclimation into prison, his cellmate is crazy, absolutely crazy, and in the middle of the night, he starts like cutting his own flesh with shanks he made, and you see all these scars over it, and you see how absolutely crazy this guy is. And that's what prison is. It's terrifying, and that you're living with people with severe mental illness and have no problem with violence. So the first episode, I was just too scared to. I found it really painful to watch, really hard to watch, because like, I'm the same age as this character, and so it's very easy for me to project being in that situation and being in prison. Again, I can't fight. I don't think I've ever been in a fight. And so you got to be able to work out, if you're in prison. So the other main character of this is Stephen Graham. Stephen Graham, again, fantastic actor who just gets better and better. I first saw him in This Is England, and if you haven't seen This Is England, that's also fantastic. I think they're all streaming from C4. It was a movie set in the early 80s basically about skinheads, but like the friendly, nice skinheads, not the big racist ones. Skinheads is basically about a young boy who lost his father in the Falklands War, right? And he ends up becoming friends with this group of like people into like this two-tone music, skinhead. It's just absolutely beautiful, and it goes through from they did a bunch of miniseries going through to the early 90s. I fell in love with all these characters, and Stephen Graham was one of the characters. Again, brilliantly written as a villain who ends up becoming heroic, I would say, and I think we see that a lot. So Stephen Graham here plays the senior prison officer. What's the name? Eric McNally, and you know, again, fantastic scene. I think in episode 2 or episode 3, he's confronted by the mother of somebody who died, who committed suicide, who clearly had you know, mental problems, and you know, so the mother screaming at him, and he really deals with it incredibly. They said, you know, you don't care, so you just throw them in there, and you forget about it, don't care if they should be there or not, and he's like, you're right. He shouldn't have been in here. Half the people in here shouldn't be here. They should be in care, in hospital somewhere. And the truth is, we do our best for them, but we can't do that much. We do our best, but we don't have enough time. We don't have enough money, and there's not enough of us. And the thing is, you really see that being genuine. Because look, when you're in prison, yeah, certainly you have an adversarial. You would expect an adversarial relationship between the guards and the inmates. But the truth is, they're all trapped in there. They're all trapped in there, and they're all got to coexist with one another. So he has a fascinating story arc, which I don't want to spoil too much because it's really worth worth your time watching. As he's put in a position of serious crisis, like real deep crisis about what he needs to do. He finds himself in through no fault of his own in a compromising situation. But the overwhelming takeaway from this series is what an incredible failure our prison service is, without at the same time condemning it. Right? It's like, what else? What else are you going to do? I mean, I guess you'd have to like tear down the prison system, rebuild it from the ground up. But in the same time, you know, you can't let people with violent, serious mental disorders walk around the street, because they will end up being violent because they have mental disorders. That's exactly what's going to happen. There's a bit of stuff that you would expect, like Sean Bean's character has to learn how to survive and not be bullied in his time in prison. And like you see basically how he ends, how it reforms him, and I think this whole tragedy is very reformative. You know, it's interesting. You know, like, I'm a rabbi. I'm a real rabbi. So if you're new to my channel, I studied a thing called the Talmud every day. Right now, we're talking about there was this, back in 2,000 years ago when there was a Jewish temple. There was a lot of sacrifice, like animal sacrifices, and one of the sacrifices was actually made to Satan, right? Literally, so on Yom Kippur, it was the holiest day of the year. One of the sacrifices made to Satan. So they explain the reason the sacrifice to Satan is to thank Satan for causing us to sin, to causing us to go awry, because that strength that that you have to redeem oneself, right? Redeem oneself. To have real, genuine presence puts you into a better place, makes you into a better human being, and that's really essentially what you see out of this. So yeah, listen, it was through no design that life in prison makes this guy better. And you see, like a lot of people, they get into hard drugs where they're in prison, and it's completely understandable. It's completely understandable. Every character in this is well drawn, interesting. And again, what I loved about this is how there are no villains. There are no villains, yet bad, evil, violent people. Really well done. Absolutely fantastic. Can't recommend it strongly enough. It's not as deeply depressing and scary as most prison dramas that you would expect. But listen, I was scared. I was scared for a lot of it, because again, it was impossible for me not to project myself, onto that character. Go check it out. Go check it out wherever it is. I have no idea where it's playing in the US. I think it's on iPlayer in the UK. I guess you can sell the high seas to find it, and it's really Genuinely worth it. It's on iTunes. Go ahead and buy it from there. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.